This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel.
Este es el canal de videos de camaroneros.
Strat-O-Matic excelled carryover league. Brought to you by the Shrimp Trawler. 1972 to 1975.
Game 226, Angels at Twins.
Welcome back, baseball fans. 1972-75 carryover league. We are back in the American League tonight. Cross-divisional battle, best-of-5 series between the California Angels and the Minnesota Twins. We'll get you right into what has happened. Game 1. Series opens up in Anaheim. Battle of lefties, good ones too. Jim Cott for the Twins, Frank Tanana for the Angels. But they get to Tanana in the second, an error by first baseman Darren Johnson, and then you get a 2-run homer by Oliva and a solo shot by Eric Soderholm, 3-0. Fourth inning, Angels respond with a single walk, single ground out RBI. It's 3-2. But then they get to Tanana again in the fifth. It's a little ugly there. It's single walk, an error on shortstop Rudy Mioli. Another walk, single, sac fly. It is 7-2. It's a 7-4 final. Not a nice day for Tanana, giving up 7 runs, 7 hits. Though just three are earned. That'll help the array out, I suppose. And Cott went 7 2/3 with help from Bill Campbell to finish it. For the road win for the Twins, who are in a dogfight in their division. And we'll get to that in a little bit. In the American League Midwest, where everybody's playing out of their minds. Meanwhile, the Angels are just reading the weather reports about what's going on in Oakland, and they're not particularly interested in playing baseball this year, it would seem. But in Game 2, they are. In Game 2, it is Burt Behome 11 versus Nolan Ryan. We're getting some good battles here. Evenly matched guys. The number 2s, now the number 1s. This one, first inning, a typical Ryan walk, stolen base, ball gets thrown into center field, then a wild pitch. That's an unearned run. Stays that way until the 7th when Nolan Ryan walks, single, strikeout, bases loaded walk, that kind of thing. But the Minnesota Twins, the California Angels and the Minnesota Twins, it is the Angels who come back, stunningly, in the bottom of the 7th. Single, then an error by Craig Robinson. Minnesota, you have a shortstop problem. It's Craig Robinson, and he platoons with an over-the-hill Chico Cardenas. You don't want a shortstop problem. It's not going to be pretty. 3 unearned runs, and the game's tied. Then in the bottom of the 8th, single, a hit off the shortstop, another hit off the shortstop, a 2-run triple by Mickey Rivers. It's good night. We'll see you tomorrow. 8-3. Angels get the win. Ryan, 8 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, 6 walks, 9 strikeouts. That's about right. Then in Game 3, in Minnesota with the series tied, it's Bill Singer versus Dave Goltz. Battle of number 3 starters. And Bill Singer is rusty early. Single, stolen base, ball thrown into center field again, sac fly. Then a double, 2-run homer by Ron Woods, sac fly by Jim Holt. It's 4-0. And the Angels really can't muster much offense at all after in this thing versus Dave Goltz. Even though the Angels have 6 left-handed bats in their lineup and Goltz is susceptible to lefties, it didn't make a difference today. Jim Spencer did get a solo homer. They added a run in the 9th off of closer Tom Murphy. It was unearned. Minnesota Twins win Game 3, 4-2. holding on to the home field that they took away in Game 1. So it's Game 4. They want to win this game, do the Twins, and win this series 3-1 at home. Very important. Let's look at the standings. I guess we should start. Yeah, let's start out west. Yeah, okay. So this is the west. Okay. All right. That's the west. This is the west right here. Oakland A's. Okay. That's the west. This is other stuff. This is Texas A&M. This is Gonzaga, and this is UCLA or whatever. I don't know. But that's the rest of the west. But come on. Let's get rid of this too, by the way. Let's not pretend, folks. Yeah, let's just get rid of the seeds. But meanwhile, the Midwest. This is fighting nasty stuff here. Preseason favorite White Sox have had a hard schedule, but they're still 8-9, battling for their lives. Just 3 games out of first. It's anybody's division, talent-wise. It looks like it's going the wrong direction. These guys are probably the best team in the division. I don't know if the Royals have got all their pieces together yet, but they're at the top. And here are the Twins somewhere in the middle. Not quite sure how it all fits for them. I could see any of these teams folding up like a cheap card table, and any of the 4 teams just ripping it off straight to the playoffs. So, but it's very competitive. This is 6 over 500. It's the top division in the American League. In the National League, I think it goes really. It's hard to say, really, how the National League's going. But anyway, yeah. 6 over for the American League Midwest. Anyway, getting too distracted looking at the standings. Instead of focusing on the game, today it is Game 4. Another interesting battle. This time it's number 4 starters. Andy Hassler for the Angels. The girl with the curl. When he is good, he is very, very good. When he is bad, he's pathetic. But in 74, he was 7-11 on a bad team, but he had a 2.61 ERA and 162 innings. A heck of a good pitcher in this season. Had some orange injuries. Eventually, he ends up in the bullpen by 1980 and does a nice job closing out games in 80. So he's got a good beginning and a good ending and not much in the middle. And the Twins, interesting pitcher here, Bill Parsons, who was on waivers. He was the only pitcher put on waivers by his previous team, Milwaukee, who could pitch on 3 days rest because they just didn't want him. I mean, and nobody else wanted him, and the Twins scooped him up in the draft because they absolutely needed a guy who could pitch on 3 days rest to join Burt Blyleven, because Jim Cott could not, nor could Dave Goltz. Andy Hassler, Bill Parsons, Game 4 from the Twin Cities County Stadium. No, that's Milwaukee. Damn. What's that stadium called in Minnesota again? I keep forgetting that. Oh, whatever. Anyway, here we go. Leading off for the Angels, it's Paul Shaw. 1-4 hit by the pitch. Batting second, Mickey Rivers. 56 is a pop out to short. Batting third, Richie Scheinblum. 1-6, triple 1-7 is a base hit. And our runner goes to third. On the corners, playing back for Don Baylor. 47, single on a 17, gets it. And the Angels draw first blood. 2 on, 1 out, Jim Spencer. 67 is a strikeout. And with 2 outs, it's Blefrey. 54 flies to left. Angels with a lead. Very rare in their dismal season. Twins really would love to win this game and not have to go back to Anaheim. Leading off, Rod Carew. 66 flies to right. Batting second is Chico Cardenas. 39 is a base hit. Larry Eisel. 59, second C. Runner in scoring position for Harmon Killebrew. Draws a walk. Did that a lot in his career. 2 on, 2 outs for Tony Oliva and Dawn. 67 strikes out. Oliva back in the game, by the way, in 73 as a designated hitter after missing all of 72 after an incredible 1971 where he hit 337. So interesting ripple effect, how it's really interesting how Killebrew and Oliva's careers affect a lot of the maneuvers the Twins have made in our league. Keeping these guys afloat may have hindered the overall progress of other players who are no longer here, like Bobby Darwin and Steve Bry, to name a couple. Top of the second inning, it's Bobby Valentine. 2-6. Valentine, let's take a look at this card. Bobby Valentine, shortstop, center fielder. 1973. For the Angels hit .302. And 2-6 is triple 1-17, and he gets it. Infield will come up for Horace Clarke. 1-6 he lines out. Still up for Mioli. 68, second X. This is Carew, and he makes the play. Runner stuck at third still with 2 outs. Back up top, leadoff hitter Paul Shaw. 47, that's that single 1-17 again, and gets it again. And it's 2-0, Angels. Mickey Rivers. 39, second. I'm guessing the rest of the American League is rooting for the Angels. They pretty much are dead in the water, and the Twins are another one of these teams that are in that playoff picture. There's a lot of those in both leagues this year. There's going to be about 9 teams in each league looking for 6 precious playoff spots. So it's going to be a fun ride this summer, folks. Bottom of the second. It's George Mitterwald. 47 is a walk. Jim Holt, 59, second C. Eric Soderholm, 39, Ks. Ron Woods, 33, pops to second base. A nice start for Andy Hassler. Into the third. Richie Scheinblum, 49, flies to center. Don Baylor, 45, rolls to second. Jim Spencer, 54, flies to left field, bottom of the third. Carew, 53, flies to right X. Scheinblum's a 4E10, and there you go, there's a double. That's typical Angel. Not particularly good offense, not particularly good power, not particularly good defense, not particularly good bench. Excellent starting pitching, and a great closer, and that's about it. Thank you very much. Chico Cardenas, 2-5, strikes out. Larry Heisel, 34, short. Harmon Killebrew, 2-5, short. Into the fourth. It's Kurt Blefary. Oh, he's bounced around. His mission is to play for every team in the major leagues. He's been on a different team every year since 1969. 2-11, pops to second. And don't ask which ones, I have no clue. Bobby Valentine, 46, walks. I just know he's on waivers every year. Horace Clarke, 2-4. Oh, let's take a look at Horace Clarke, folks. If you're wondering, we talked about the Minnesota pitcher Bill Parsons put on waivers. Well, the Yankees had Horace Clarke. He wasn't just put on waivers, he was abandoned at the mall. And his parents left him, or the Yankees left him. And the same thing happened with the California Angels and their second baseman, Sandy Alomar. So instead of Horace Clarke being traded from the Yankees to the Angels, literally it was a staring contest to see which team would pick up their kid from the mall first. And it was the Yankees, and they took California's second baseman, Sandy Alomar. And the Angels combed the fields with a search party looking for a second baseman. Couldn't find one, so they handed a contract to Horace Clarke. So it was basically the two teams trading their second baseman under, unwanted conditions. Clarke here, though, 2-4, double 1-13, and he gets it. That's a big moment for the Angels. Second and third, 1 out. Bringing the infield up for Rudy Mioli. 1-9 right B question mark. Like to take off if I can. Bobby Valentine's a 14 runner. He's running against a -2 arm. It's going to be tight, and he's in there. 1-11. Needed to be aggressive. Down 2-1 in the series. But they have a 3-0 lead today. You have Clark at second. Moving up on the throw, he's at third. And it's Paul Shaw. 4-11 flies to left X. Heisel is a 2-8 in left field, and he makes the catch. Bottom of the fourth. Like to push their starters. Ryan, Tanana, Singer, Hassler. Trying it to the 7th or 8th inning. Get to the closer. Skip the bullpen altogether. Tony Oliva leads off. 2-7. Base hit. George Mitterwald, 65. Skies the shallow center field. Jim Holt, 54. Skies the left field. And Eric Soderholm flies to center field. A lot of lazy cans of corn in Minnesota. Top of the fifth. Mickey Rivers, 5-11. Walks. He's taken off. Double-A stealer, and he's out again. My double-A Steelers have just been terrorized by these plus one-arm catchers like George Mitterwald all year long. Yeah, I think he's about 50% stealing bases this year. Mickey Rivers. It's pretty ugly, actually. Richie Scheinblum, 49, center. And Don Baylor, 1-7. Triple 1-4. That's a base hit. He's taken off. He's in there. He's at second base. And it's Jim Spencer. 48. Double 1-10 off Parsons. It's an RBI single on the Angels aggressively. Take a 4-0 lead. Like to see that. Like to see the aggressive style. Never say die. Kurt Blefrey, 111, rolls back to the mound. Andy Hassler presented with a 4-run lead. And it's Ron Woods. 35 is a walk. Carew, 210, skies the center. Chico Cardenas, 210, a 6-4-3 double play. Andy Hassler, 3-hitter with 3 walks. And he's put a guy on every inning, but been effective, very effective. Into the 6th. Trying to send this thing back to Anaheim. It's Bobby Valentine. Been on twice. 2-5. You saw that card. It's going to be another single. And now Horace Clark, who we lamented earlier, he's going to hit and run. He's a B hit and runner. Might as well when you hit 241, right? The hit and run moves the runner to second base. Rudy Mioli. 2-8. He pops out. Back up top to Paul Shaw. 1-2. Lomax. Bottom of the 6th. It's Larry Heisel. 4-11. Left X. Who is out there? Don Baylor's a 2-6 with a noodle arm. But he makes the grab, most importantly. Harmon Killebrew. 2-2. Rolls to third. And Tony Oliva bit on today. Not this time, though. A grounder to second base. A nice start. Andy Hassler continues into the 7th. Mickey Rivers. 47. That's going to be that single 1-17 for the third time. And it's missed on a 20. Well, there you go. I don't have to worry about getting thrown out stealing now, do I? I missed the single 1-17 single chance. So there you go, Mickey. Richie Scheinblum, 63. Pitcher X. Parsons, E0. I don't roll E0 pitchers at home. It's a home field advantage, one of the many I use. And Don Baylor, 4-4. Center X. Holt, 4-2 in center field. And it still falls in for a single. We like Holt, though, because he can play center and first and often flips between the two positions. Baylor at first. Let's try another stolen base. It worked last time, and it works again. The T rating does not. So he's at second, and it's Jim Spencer. 2-7 lines to first. Well, Bill Parsons has made some lemonade out of what he's had today. He's let guys score with 2 outs frequently. He's also stranded a bunch of runners. It's a 4-run effort for a pitcher with a 3.91 ERA, I guess. Stretch time here in Minnesota, trailing 4-zip. We are enjoying Black and Blue, the 1973 LP by Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes, featuring the brilliantly talented Teddy Pendergrass with his tragedies that fell upon him. Great LP, The Love I Lost. I'm Weak for You, Satisfaction Guaranteed. It only gets better. The next couple albums they put out after this for Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes. Back to the game. Bottom of the 7th. The Twins. They got to get something going here against a pretty weak California team. Now they're in danger of losing the home field they stole. It'll be number 6 hitter George Mitterwald. 39 rolls to short. Jim Holt, 69, skies to center. And Eric Soderholm, 48, there's a walk. I think that's the first time they've touched the Hassler card for an on-base. And it's Ron Woods, one of the outfielders brought in to replace the missing Steve Bry and Bobby Darwin that they let slip away. Ron Woods, let's take a look at this card. It's an interesting card for him in 72, was an Expo. 258 hitter and 220 some at bats with 10 home runs. But when you look at the defense, the power, the walks, the balance, it's a heck of a nice little player to find out there in free agency to, plug a hole in the lineup. Because the reality was Tony Oliva can't play the outfield anymore, so somebody had to. And they got Ron Woods, a single to right field, and Hassler is a batter away from point of weakness. And you got a battle here, folks. It's Rod Carew. Let's take a look at Rod. A 350 card for Rod in 73. 30 doubles, 11 triples, and 6 homers. Still a slick fielding second baseman at this point, and a double-A stealer. Big moment here for Andy Hassler, having one of his best career starts. And we're not going to let this guy lose with a 4-run lead here. This could be it for him today, even with a shutout. Here's the pitch to Rod Carew. 48 is ball 4, and that is the sign that I do not want this guy to lose this ball game. And he will go after 6 2/3, hitting the point of weakness with a 4-run lead. Not happy about it. I can imagine, you want to go for the shutout, but you want to win the game. You don't want to take a loss. And on the bench options, you do have the grand slam potential for Phil Roof coming up versus a righty. But Cardenas crushes lefties, and it's too early for your only lefty LaRoche. So I think it's going to be Gary Ross. Doesn't give up homers to righties. So this is like a knee-jerk reaction. Everybody in Minnesota knows what's going to happen on the bench. So Hassler leaves. Gary Ross comes in the game. Ross was brought in from San Diego, actually. 4-3 with a 2.45 ERA in 92 innings. Doesn't surrender homers to right-handed batters. And the fans here in Minnesota knows what's happening. It's the Roof is on fire here in Minnesota as Phil Roof walks to the on-deck circle, folks, as a pinch hitter. Let's take a look at him, folks. You gotta see him. He's got the Babe Ruth stroll out there, and the fans are going nuts over it. Phil Roof, in 1975, the big bopper, had 7 home runs in 126 at-bats and a .302 batting average. Somebody told him, hey, stop playing. You'll have a great Strat-O-Matic card. If you bat another 120 times, you're going to finish hitting .236, and no one's going to care. Stop playing, fake an injury, you'll have a great Strat-O-Matic card. So that's what Phil did. And he steps into the box with the bases loaded and 2 outs, looking for a tying grand slam on 5, 6, or 7 in the 1 column. Boy, you can't set this up any better, Hollywood. Here's the pitch to Phil Roof. The Roof is on fire. 38. And he strikes out. Okay. Well, that was kind of fun, though, right? We need a shortstop now. And that's got to be Craig Robinson. And he's got to pick a spot where to put him. I guess we'll leave Mitterwald in the game as the catcher. And Roof will exit. And we'll just put Robinson in that spot. That way Mitterwald can bat in the next inning. Still 4-0. Andy Hassler breathes a sigh of relief in the dugout as it's looking more promising that he will get a W today if his team gets 6 outs. Top of the 8th, Bill Parsons. What do we do with you? Let's call it a day for Bill. He's a starter 7 anyway. And frankly, their bullpen could use some work out of the number long man, Jim Crawford. Crawford will pitch 73, Houston Astro pitcher, 2-4, 4.50 ERA in 70 innings. First appearance of the series. He'll come on in the 8th, face the lefty Kurt Blefary. And frankly, Crawford's really awful versus lefties. And Blefary's awful against lefties too. So they'll face each other and see what happens. So Crawford comes on in the 8th, and he will actually face Kurt Blefary. And here's the pitch. 36 is a roll it or short. Bobby Valentine. 47 is a K. That's a single if you're left-handed, by the way. And Horace Clark. 2-8 is a fly ball to center field. Nice inning for Crawford. That's why we like the card so much. He's a left-handed pitcher, but he's pretty decent against righties, who you see more of. And you already have a lefty setup guy anyway, Pete Reichert. So you don't need Crawford to get those lefties out in this particular case. Bottom of the 8th, 4-0. Gary Ross, he'll continue. He's a nice little pitcher. He'll face Larry Heisel. 4-11, skies the right X. That's Scheinblum, a 4-10. And before you ask, there's nobody better on their bench. But he makes the grab. Your 4-10 right fielder makes a nice snow cone grab. Little white baseball at the top of the glove, about to pop out. Puts his other hand on it. Licks the lollipop, or whatever you want to call that. That is caught. That is an out. Now you got Killebrew. He will swing away, of course. 1-7, and he'll do what he should do. Draw a walk. Any base runners. Now you got Tony Oliva. He's 1 for 3 today. 47, there's a base hit. And here come the Twins again. 2 on, 1 out. And George Mitterwald is the batter. 4-10 off Ross's center X. Center field, Mickey Rivers is a 3-9 in center field. And he makes the grab. We've had some remarkably surprising defensive web gems here by unlikely California outfielders. Scheinblum and Rivers in the 8th, trying to keep the shutout going. And it's number 7 hitter, Jim Holt. Let's take a look at Jim. This is Jim Holt's best card in the timeline. 73, hits .297 in 450 plate appearances. Got 11 home runs. Can give you some first base. Can give you the outfield. No problem at all with left-handed pitching. He's a full-time player. And he shifts between center and first often, in a lot of times in the same game. He'll move back and forth if needed to get Joe Levito into center field, or to get Killebrew off the bench onto first base, for instance. Not today, but here's the pitch to Jim Holt. 3-6, just like I drew it up by bringing his card on the screen. Homer, 1-10 double. Doesn't get it. It's a 2-bagger. Oliva, and by the way, Oliva has lost his legs. They fell off in 1972. I don't know where they went. They were pretty darn quick in 71, but in 73, he's an 8. He's the dreaded 8 runner, and he'll just lumber into third base. So it's a 4-1 game, and the Twins get to swing for a tie. It'll be Eric Soderholm, and Gary Ross, who's having a rough inning, will continue to pitch for the same reason he faced Phil Roof before. He has no homers on his card. So let's take a look at Soderholm here. 74, 276 average, and 10 homers. Good glove at third base. Could even play shortstop in a pinch. Would actually be a decent solution for their shortstop dilemma if they had a third baseman to replace him, which they don't either. Yeah. So anyway, here is the pitch to Eric Soderholm. 3-2 is a fly ball to left field and an injury to boot, and that's not good. And we are going to, you know, Harmon Killebrew. I think he's got a little bit of third base still left in him for an inning. We'll send Harmon over to third across the diamond. And what did I just say last batter? Jim Holt, right? He'll go from center field to first base. And the new center fielder will be Joe Levito, the last guy on the bench. That's the end of the Twin bench today. Down 3, going into the 9th. Oh, they'll let Jim Crawford continue. He'll face Rudy Mioli. 64, second X. It's Carew. Makes the play. Paul Shaw, 63. Left X. This is Larry Heisel. He's a 2-8 and left. He makes the grab. Mickey Rivers, 211. Pops to second base. Bottom of the 9th. Any defense can we bring in to help things out? Well, you could bring in a slightly better catcher, though I doubt the Angels will steal bases down, or the Twins will steal bases down 3. Just maybe kind of leave it alone. We've had a nice outing for Gary Ross. He's got an inning and a third. But Dave LaRoche is the closer, and Craig Robinson's coming up this inning. He's terrible against lefties. So we're going to call it a day for Gary Ross. Nice outing. Inning and a third. We'll go right to Dave LaRoche, trying to close this thing out with a 3-run lead. Dave LaRoche, to add insult to injury to the Twins today, he was a Twin for them in 72 with a 2.84 ERA. Wow, he has the 6th template. Boy, the Twins had some nice pitching in 72. If he was the 6th best earned run average, and that was the 2.84. We know Jim Cott was part of that pitching staff, and Blyleven, and Goltz, right? Let me see what Goltz's ERA was here real quick. So Cott is 2.07. We know Blyleven is 2.73, and Goltz 2.67. So yeah, that explains why Roach has this template. If you're wondering, folks, when you have home runs on 610, that means you have the 6th template in this era as the 6th best earned run average on your team. So that's what LaRoche brings as the closer. But he's bringing it as a closer for the Angels. He had several stints with the Angels, by the way. He also pitched for the Indians, I think. And LaRoche, famously for the Yankees, was the Lalab guy, striking out the Willie Wilsons and Gorman Thomases of the world. Bottom of the 9th, 4-1. Can the Angels even the series? For the Twins leading off, it'll be Ron Woods. 1-6, bounces to short. Back up top to Carew. 56 is a K. One of his 55. That's not that small of an amount. 2 outs now, and it's shortstop Craig Robinson. 69 off LaRoche. Homer 1-5, fly ball the rest. And that is the rest, as we like to say. And that is a California Angel road win. And they've won 2 games in this series to double their win total for the season, to the dismay of Twin fans, to the delight of White Sox, Royals, and Brewer fans in their division. So this is a good news for the wild, rough, and tumble American League Midwest. Lots of competition there, Twins included. Twins are still a very good squad. Nice little save for LaRoche. Your winning pitcher is Andy Hassler, 6 2/3 shutout innings. A run charge to Gary Ross. LaRoche gets the save. Bill Parsons gets the loss. We'll have a Game 5 back in Anaheim. And it will be, and I'll give you the result of that at the end of this video here. The Angels will have Nolan Ryan on short rest facing Burt Behome Blyleven on short rest. So suddenly that game has become very important. So we'll give you the results of that at the end of the video. So stay tuned. All right, baseball fans, here is the box score of the Game 4 you just saw The shocking victory for the visiting Angels, 4-1. Andy Hassler, 6 2/3, 4 hits, walked 5, struck out 3, didn't give up a run. Gary Ross was effective. He gave up the 1 run, though. Bill Parsons, 7 innings, 9 hits, 4 runs. Twins just didn't hit enough in this one, and that could be their downfall. As we go back to Anaheim for a Game 5, looked like a promising matchup of aces. Bert Blyleven versus Nolan Ryan. However, top of the first, the Twins, the best thing happened. Heisel walked, stole a base, scored on a Jim Holt single, and they led 1-0. And then from there on out, it was a nightmare for the Minnesota Twins. Soderholm makes an error, fielder's choice, sac fly. We're tied at 1. Bottom of the third, 3 singles. Baylor with the RBI there. And then in the fourth, they had their way with Bert Blyleven, knocking him out in the fourth. A single, a 2-run homer by Darren Johnson, who, by the way, he was the first baseman for the Oakland A's in 1973, after Epstein was the first baseman for the A's in 1972, trying to figure out who played those positions at second base and first base during the Dynasty era. He's in the same division, but he's down the street in California now. Anyway, a Spencer single, Cousineyer walk, another walk to Shaw, Rivers single, and they bat around in the fourth. Crawford comes in, they bat around again in the fifth. The Angels have suddenly figured things out. Might be a little bit too little too late this season, who knows. And then Bill Campbell comes in, they light him up. No competition, folks. The California Angels throttle the Twins 12-1. And this could be trouble for the Twins. Big trouble, suddenly. 12 runs, 16 hits, 8 walks, 24 Angels reached base. Nolan Ryan, 2-hitter, pulled after 7 and 3 batters because they had an 11-run lead. No sense leaving him out there. Ricky Clark got 6 straight Twins out. Twins only put 8 men on base to the Angels 24. So what does this all mean as the Angels win this series 3-2? Well, the Angels are 5-11. Sounds like a football one-loss record, doesn't it? 275 team batting average, but a 5.22 team ERA, which doesn't even seem right. It seems like this is a team that should pitch well and not hit. But there was a game where Bill Singer got lit up for 15 or 16 runs, and it kind of screwed it all up. So Hassler got that shutout. Nolan Ryan won the other 3 games. Meanwhile, Frank Tanana and Bill Singer are 0-7 and have given up 41 runs in 44 innings. So that explains the downfall of the Angels this year. And they're going to try and figure out eventually somebody's going to go to the All-Star game for them. The Twins are now 9-9. That's okay. 99's still all right. They can make a run. It's a little disappointing that they started out so well this year, and they're doing the same thing the Twins have always done. They tease. The Minnesota Twins tease you. They think they're going to be this big, badass, and then you play out the season, and they just miss the playoffs, or they fade late. It's a shame. Hitting .251 with a 4.01 ERA. By the way, Bert Behome Blyleven is 0-4. So the rest of the Twins are 9-5. Jim Kitty Cott's 3-1. Dave Goltz, the kid, is 3-0. Parsons is 0-3. Bert Blyleven, Bill Parsons, Bill Singer, and Frank Tanana are 0-14, if you're keeping track of that for some weird reason. And their other pitchers and their staff are keeping them afloat. Not much power in Minnesota. Obviously, Carew's going to hit well. He's hitting .307. That's not good enough, I would suggest. Jim Holt's doing a nice job. He's 25 for 70. And let's just take a glimpse at the standings here, and there you go. So the Royals are feeling good. They fought off a tough challenge from the White Sox in a 7-game series. But these 3 teams here, someone's going to have a bad, disappointing finish. As I doubt, you cannot have 4 teams in one division go to a playoff. We know that. You could have 3. Some combination of 3 of these 4 teams could still make the playoffs with Oakland and division winners, one of the teams here. As you see, the second place teams are just a game over 500 or under 500. So there's not much. There's so much competition in baseball right now in the American League. It's just going to be a wild year. Break up your California Angels. They aren't tanking. They are playing hard with what they have. They beat the Twins 3 games to 2. Thanks for checking this out. We'll see you next time.